Wow, can you believe it? It's the last day of our summer camp for STEM Elementary, and what a perfect way to close out this camp on talking about scientific inquiry, or what's now called scientific practices. Because in order for students to participate in scientific inquiry, they have to be able to utilize science process skills, both basic and integrated process skills. They need to be able to communicate in science, so writing in science, creating charts and graphs and explaining the meaning of data, and also interpreting the data and providing models. And so this is really kind of like a capstone of everything we've talked about this week. And there's going to be math involved. All types of things happen whenever we open up students to inquiry. And so in our first video this morning, I'm going to explain the different levels of inquiry and how that's shown in a model for science activities. And then I'm going to give you some expanded examples to that in the other videos. So motions of the sky, which I've actually renamed Sun, Moon, and Stars at this point. We're going to see how inquiry can be used to teach those concepts of motions of the skies of the sun, moon, and stars. And then also, we're going to do an activity on the growth of bean plants. So more inquiry activities. And so the difference between the two will be, one is on confirmation and structured inquiry, the first two levels. And then the other one's going to be on helping your students with guided inquiries and open inquiries, which are the last two levels. And so we're going to learn a lot about astronomy, and we're going to learn a lot about life science today. And it's going to be really fun. I've had a lot of fun preparing those videos for you guys, and I think that you're going to have a lot of fun trying them in your classroom and finding what fits best for you. And so just some notes here as we close out the course. We're going to have that conversation on inquiry in the different levels, and I've created that lecture based off of this article by Christopher Pappas. And so at some point in time, it doesn't have to be before the video this time, it could be a little bit after if you want, but he kind of spells out the instructional models of the 4 levels of inquiry. And so that's a really good reference for you to refer back to whenever you're learning about inquiry, maybe for the first time. Also, I want for you guys to take a few minutes to kind of skim over the procedure that I provided in the website on how to grow a lima bean in a bag by Julie Richards. And that's just so that you'll have access to that. So if you want to come back to it later, it's there. And also, if you have some questions, you can maybe have a different version from another teacher of how she implemented it. And seeing that information by that teacher could be really helpful for you. And then also today is our final journal entry, number 10, our last reflection. That's due today, and that's just going to be reflection on all the inquiry videos that I've done. So you're going to do that after you finish all of the pre-recorded class sessions today. And also, you're going to have some work time to start polishing up that product of implementation. Remember that this is something that I want you to create, that you're going to try to use with your students whenever that is coming up in the fall, and however you plan to do it is fine. And so I'm just looking again for trying to incorporate science process skills or science lesson into a book that you have, or maybe it's embedding the math content you're trying to teach into a science lab. And so anything that you are trying out for the first time in terms of teaching science, whether it's an inquiry activity, whether it's a particular journal that you want your students to complete, to help them write more in the scope of scientific discipline. That's all that I'm asking for, something simple. It doesn't have to be a huge unit, just one product that you plan to implement with students. And I want you to implement it with them and kind of give as a presentation in the showcase sessions about what your product is and how it went whenever you used it with your students. It doesn't have to be a whole awful lot of work. But I would like to hear what you thought and what it felt like teaching the thing that you tried to create. And so it'd be really good for everyone to know what it was like as well. So that way maybe they can mimic something like that and use it also in their classroom. And then Also, at some point in time after our teleconference and after you finished all of the assignments, please go back and complete the post-assessment. Remember, it's ungraded. It's just for me to track and see if you actually learn things from taking the course. And then it's going to also prompt you to take a post-survey. And so that's just the form that I'm asking for specific feedback about the course. Since this is the very first time that this course has ever existed, I expect to be revising this class in the future, making it more organized, making it have more content in it that's what you guys are looking for in your elementary classrooms. So if you could respond to the particular questions I've asked, I would greatly appreciate it. It's not required, but it would mean a lot in helping me develop this course. And so also what you can do at the end of all of this is take a look at the Showcase Sessions tab in our Google Classroom and start thinking about a date that you would like to present your product of implementation with people. And so start completing those little tasks to sign up for the date and get to work on your product of implementation. And I'm super thrilled that you guys are following through with this and that you're going to make something new for your classroom and try to improve your science class with students. And so thank you so much for being dedicated, hardworking teachers, and thank you so much for sharing your experience with us, especially at the Showcase Sessions. I'm really looking forward to that. So without any further ado, I hope you guys enjoyed the rest of today's classes for the end of this camp on scientific inquiry. And stay in touch. Even after this camp is over, if you want to reach out and collaborate with me, I would be happy to help you improve. And in turn, that's going to help me get better at being a teacher as well. So I look forward to working with you guys, especially if I'm meeting you for the very first time. I can't wait to continue working with you.